I'm now joined by Jen Morris. Hi, Jen.
Hello.
Jen is the co-chair of the Exhibits Task Force for PCMA. And as a volunteer leader, Jen, you've been really involved as a member of this group, looking at delivering education and experiences for this really important segment of the industry. So we're here to talk about something that's really awesome happening here on-site at Education Conference, and that's the trade show floor plan e-posters, part of our awesome Tech Central Hub. Tell us about what that environment is like and how attendees have been interacting with it.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me today. And anybody in virtual land who knows me and doesn't recognize me, it's the humidity. Sorry about that. Anyway, we're super excited. Our task force has been working hard. There are a lot of PCMA members that have trade shows. It may not be their main job, but they do have to deal with the trade show. And we were talking about how trade show floor plans have changed and the design of trade shows have changed. And so the e-posters that we have here is a way to bring forth some ideas, some inspiration, showcase some case studies on floor plans and things that people are doing. And it's basically set up 2 monitors. You walk up to it. There's a small monitor that you can play with that has some buttons. You know, you hit the floor plan and it pops up a floor plan on the big monitor. You hit the about the floor plan and it has a little paragraph about the floor plan and why they designed it that way. And then the strategy button will actually give you some explanation on what they were trying to accomplish with that floor plan. And it's been really fascinating to look at these examples. We have 6 examples right now, and we're hoping to carry this this program forward and get more engagement from our trade show members with their floor plans and creativity and things like that. But it's been a lot of fun. And people have been very engaged in it. I was standing there for a while this morning. I was fortunate to have a little bit of background on some of the shows that were featuring, like McDonald's, and understood what they were trying to do. And it was fun to watch people who have maybe smaller shows and aren't sure what to do with some of the new experiences that are going on. There's a lot of shows trying to put more engagement on the show floor, get away from just the traditional booth layout, the grid, the boring grid, which has been really fun. So it's been a nice way to showcase this, the interactive monitors that they have set up as the e-poster session.
So what has been some of the attendee reaction? I got a chance to walk through there a little earlier today, and to see people walking around and really interacting with the touch screens has been really amazing. And some great examples, as you said, from McDonald's and SAP. What are some of those specific examples and learnings, and how have the attendees been really taking to it?
I think the attendees, well, it's striking looking when you walk up to it. I wish we had a picture.
Yes, if any of our online moderators have an opportunity to post a picture to share with you, like we did earlier for the general session, I would love to show you what that looks like.
Yeah, so when you walk in, if somebody's engaged with it, you see the floor plan, it's giant, and it's just cool, and you're like, what's going on over there? And then you start to play around a little bit. The reaction's been really positive. I think people are interested in this. We were doing this a little bit as a test. We weren't sure if this was a subject that people were interested in, but there's definitely been good engagement. People have been talking a lot about their own challenges, and there's been groups standing around this area. So somebody will walk up and say, oh, look at what they did. What are they trying to do with those diagonal aisles? You know, and somebody else will pop in and say, oh, we did something like that, and it was to drive traffic this way or that way, and things like that. So it's been kind of good engagement and a nice kind of networking opportunity also.
Yeah,
nice
absolutely.
Yeah.
So Lindsay, thanks so much for your question, asking if you'll have the opportunity to see that technology. We're going to work on posting a picture for you, both in the chat area, and we'll also look at how we can report back out some of the information about those specific trade show floor plans. And I know one of the things that the committee really was working through, the task force was working through, is if this idea is successful, hopefully we can bring this on an even bigger scale to convening leaders, which would be awesome.
Yeah, it was really, it was kind of a brain trust of the task force, and the PCMA staff jumped on it right away and were really excited about it. And so we got more excited about it. And as we're here watching it live, we're kind of hopeful that we can get some more engagement with some members that have creative floor plans and see what other people are doing. It's really just been a nice interaction and a nice way to have some inspiration. There's floor plans can be really boring. I mean, they're kind of a grid. They're kind of boxes on a piece of paper. I personally am a floor plan geek. I love them, and I think there can be a lot of strategy behind designing your floor plan. What are you trying to accomplish? Are you trying to move people throughout the floor plan? Are you trying to infuse some education on the show floor? Are you trying to keep people there? Are you trying to hide maybe that sales didn't go so well? So there's just lots of opportunities to see, different things and how people are being creative about their floor.
Right, love it. Okay, one last little question before we move on to our next interview, and that is, As a representative from the Exhibit and Trade Show Task Force, can you give us, Jen, a little bit of an insider scoop into some of the stuff that the task force has been talking about? What are some of the biggest trends that we're seeing in really the evolution of changing the way we think about trade show design?
I think thinking about trade show design is all about trying to satisfy the attendee experience, and the attendee experience and expectation has changed so much in the last few years. And so we're trying to get our arms around, what are the best practices that are going on right now? What are the creative things people are doing with their trade shows, so that they're taking a little bit more control back with their trade show instead of letting the experience lie with the exhibitors and what they're doing in their booths. I think the show organizers now are trying to get in the game and try to make sure that the experience for the attendee is great.
Awesome. Great. Thanks so much, Jen. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.